Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to put together a Halloween tree. I have always wanted to do a Halloween tree, and so I found one, and this one was actually $20, and I found it at Hobby Lobby, and it was actually a Christmas tree. Black is in right now, and so what I did is I waited till the clearance sales, and I either got it at 80 or 90% off. So that's something to think about. I might have to check them out this year and get a bigger one. I think I'm really going to like this. Another option that you have is to go to the thrift stores. They always have Christmas trees, especially if you want a larger one. And just go to Walmart and get your 98-cent black spray paint and just start spray painting that. You won't get it solid color, but it'll be enough that it's spooky enough. And I think you'll really like that as well. So you have a couple of real inexpensive options that you can do. Of course, the first thing I'm going to do is put lights on it. And you can use orange, purple, a combination. You could even use the white ones. I've seen them done with just the white lights. So whatever you want to do. I'm going to use 50 orange lights. I'm going to see if I like that enough. I also have a box of 75. So I'm just going to use my pipe cleaner. I wish I didn't have that end up at the top. And just start with that up at the top and work my way down. But I want it nice and lit. I don't want any blank spots, or I want a lot of color. To me, Halloween is about the color, not the absence of color like the black. I love the orange, the purples. You can throw some green. You can throw some gold and yellow in there even. So there's a lot of fun things that you can use or options that you can have. And probably the best way to kind of even do this is to put your lights on so you can see how many you have as you're going. But you kind of want to work these in nice and good here. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this all the way around, and then we'll start our next step. I've got all my lights on, and that was 50, and I do like it. I might have done 75. I did take little pipe cleaners and hold my lights on to just kind of even help it more. So if you really wanted to twist and get some more on there, you could go up to 75. So I also moved my top part down so it sits in this thicker part here, but we're going to add a bow or something up there when we get done, so we're not going to worry about that as much. The thing I want to just really point out is just do whatever you have. There's all kinds of things we could use on this. So I don't like these empty sections in between the tree, so I am going to add ribbon to it. And I want ribbon that's at least kind of big enough. I think I've got, I don't know if that's a 2.5. It's 2.5. A 3 feet or 3 inch might even be better. And I'm going to kind of do this a little bit different. I'm going to use my black pipe cleaner, and I'm just going to kind of start making loops. And so we can fill that area in. And I'm going to do probably 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Maybe I'll even do I'll have to look at it here. Maybe 8 loops, maybe 6. I'm kind of still deciding. But what I'm doing is I'm making a loop, and then I'm wrapping my pipe cleaner around that loop, making a loop, and wrapping my pipe cleaner around that loop. So I'm just kind of taking my pipe cleaner like that. And you want a pipe cleaner that's a color that's not going to show up on your tree, or if it's the same color of your ribbon. And I'm not quite sure how much ribbon I'm going to be using because it kind of depends. I've got a couple of things here. You also could alternate colors. I've got 2 different designs that are similar in colors, and that would be kind of fun because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, and then I want to do maybe a smaller bow on top or maybe a skeleton on top. I'm not quite sure. So let's stop talking and get this wrapped. So that's 6. I think I'm going to try 8 here. We may come back and take these last 2 out. We'll kind of see how we like it. And just whatever length you think that should be, I would say probably 3 to 4 inches, and you want to keep those similar in size. So, okay, so I've got that all done. So what I'm going to kind of do, I'm not going to cut it yet. I'm going to kind of come in here. I'll see that tail in a minute. And I still got my pipe cleaner on both ends now, and I've just kind of moved that around in that section. And I'm going to tie my pipe cleaners together and get that nice and tight around there. So you want that close, all kind of scrunched in. And you can either wrap the pipe cleaners around the tree, or you can cut them off, and then if you decide that you like the 3 or the 8 instead of the 6, you can go ahead and cut that tail off. I almost think that 6 would be better instead, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and get that piece on, and then we'll come back and talk about the next section real quick. So I really like the 6 better because I can pull the loops out, and I just really like that. I tied that and I glued my end in so it doesn't slip around. But also think about when it's this area, you want it in the middle, because I had that one a little bit lower there. So on this next one, I'm going to do 5. Now this one's okay, but after this, we're probably going to start going down in size. Because these shrink as they go. I might still be doing 5 on the next row to keep that all nice and good. And then after that, I think I will decrease that, but we may just be decreasing them in size as well. So that is 5, and that one is perfect. So I'm going to cut that off and then start my next one. So I was doing a 5 for the next one, and I only have enough for 4. Now you can stop and use this for a smaller one, which is absolutely fine, or just take your ribbon, have one tail off there and one tail on here, and just continue working and kind of trim and put your ribbons in. Either way, it works well, so that's totally up to you. Okay, I changed a couple of things, and I always leave these in because I want people to know that I change things up. I do things different. If it works better for you, to leave it. I didn't like the way the bottom one was so closer together, so I moved everything up 1. I put 7 loops, and I brought them out longer. And then I have 6 loops. I have 5, 5, and 5. I didn't like them any less than the 5 because they weren't odd numbers, and they didn't look good going all the way around. I just decreased them in size as I went up. I'm going to do one more little one here. I was taking a look at it. I don't think a big bow is going to look good there. I'm just going to do one little more one here, and I think I'm going to put a skeleton on top or something like that. You can use your imagination of what you have or what you want to use. I'm going to bend this over. I'm going to put a hole into the top of my skeleton head and see if that fits in there. But I used about, by the time I get done doing that, I used about 8 yards of my ribbon. So that's what that turned out to be. So that 2 rolls of 12 feet or 4 feet worked out really nice. And I love the ribbon. And if you were going to just do anything to this tree, I think the lights and the ribbon are what really makes this piece. And if you wanted to just leave it like that, then leave it like that. So I'm going to bend this real tall part of that tree over because it's always too bendable. I put a hole into the skull, and just big enough that that fits on nice and tight. So we've got that there. So some of the ways I'm going to go ahead and start decorating this now are, I made some gourd pumpkins, and these are just out of little gourds, and I'm just going to hang those all around my tree. So these are bigger ornaments, so if you wanted a bigger ornament, because they kind of fill in some of these open areas. So however you or whatever type of ornaments you may feel you like. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of those put on, and then we'll put on our next little item. The next thing I'm going to put on my little tree is these little skeletons, and I picked mine up at the Dollar Tree. I do know that most of the stores end up carrying these as well, and I'm going to use the white ones, not the black ones, because they stand out better. I'm going to take a piece of cording, and I'm going to cut it about 7 inches long, and we're just going to put the two tips together and tie a knot, because I don't want these hanging down too far. I wished on my little pumpkins that I had cut those a little bit shorter. I might go back and do those. So I've made the loop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this loop around his neck sideways and just take the tail through that loop and hang him on. And we're not going to need a bunch of these, maybe 5 or 6 of these. And we're just going to kind of hang him in between our pumpkins or different things like that. But he really starts to add a lot to those. So I'm going to go ahead and finish those up, and we'll start our next item. The main thing that I'm going to cover most of my tree with is these little confettis. And these come like 3 different designs in a pack. And there's at least 25 in a pack. I buy them at Walmart for 99 cents. And I love these. I just took a little bit of my cording. I did 6 inches, and I just tied it in a knot so it has just a small loop. And I just hot glue gunned. I cold glue gunned it. I used the cold setting so I didn't burn myself, just to the back of these. So that I have all of these little tiny things. They didn't cost much, but there's other things that you could use. You find different things at different places, so don't be afraid to find different projects that you can use as well. But for the price, you can't beat this. So I went ahead and I'm just going to cover my tree now with all of these little guys and designs. My next little thing I was going to put on this tree, I actually made these before I put my ribbon on. I'm going to go ahead and add them, but they might be in place of your ribbon, or you might not want to do this. This is just a tubing mesh. I picked mine up at the Dollar Tree, but all the craft stores and Walmart seem to carry them. I didn't do the black. I didn't like the black because the tree was already black. Instead, I went and pulled the green out of my Christmas. And they've already got Christmas at most of the stores, usually by the time you get the Halloween stuff. I cut them in 3-inch pieces. I did 2 of each color, so I have 6 in each little bundle. I just tied them with my pipe cleaner, a piece of my pipe cleaner, and I put a spider ring over these. I've picked up 4 different colors for 97 cents at Walmart, and they have all these different fun colors. So I left enough tail that I'm just going to tie these on the tips of my tree, and I'm kind of going to do about every other one just to give it a little bit more color and the fun, festive, bright feel of Halloween. The one thing I did notice with the black glitter confettis, they kind of get lost in the tree, so I might stick with the bigger, brighter ones so that you can see them. That's the one thing I would probably do a little different. The last thing I'm going to add is my bendable glitter ribbon rope, and you can find that probably in your Christmas section, and it's got some wire in it. Anything that you could kind of bend to make a loop out of, or make something fun that's going to kind of stick out, or you could even buy picks that are already done like this. They've already probably got the Christmas stuff out, so you could most likely find a pick that's already got that, and that may be the easier way to do this. This is another one of those items I wait till clearance at the end of the holidays and pick up for next year. And I'm just going to stick 3 or 5 of those just around the top of the skull, and I'm going to hot glue those in so that they don't move around. And I'm probably going to hot glue my skull on as well, but you want to be careful and not get any hot glue on those lights. Another option would be to put them on with our pipe cleaners, and that may be a good option as well. And then that will finish up our tree. We've got our Halloween tree all done, and I'm sitting here looking at it thinking this was that scrawny little piece of black twig, and look how awesome and full it looks. I just am really happy that I went ahead and did that. I really like the completed piece. I also decorated the base a little bit so that you don't have just that bare part. To me, that just seemed kind of empty. So whatever you want to do it with spiders or anything like that, it is up to you. But I hope you enjoyed that. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please share our videos so that we can continue to grow. Have a safe and fun Halloween.